You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía.
Live from the fantasyfootballshow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Deshaun Watson getting 11 games. Tom Brady still missing, and the Bucs saying they don't know quite when he will return. We've got news galore. We've got Joe Burrow back throwing footballs. Let's get to the news.
From the fantasyfootballshow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
What is going on? Silver in the building, Kenny in the building. Appreciate everybody being here. Andrew Grace, Blackbeard first in the building. Meet the Woo, Double A, Dan, and everybody filing right in. Robert, thank you guys for being a part of the Fantasy Football Show. Look, we're growing fast. We're getting bigger and bigger every single day, and I work for you. I go live whenever news breaks. This is something that needs to be known right now. I'm live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm your one-stop shop for fantasy football and NFL news. We got people in here that don't play fantasy football. They come in for the news show on the daily because we're Monday through Friday breaking down all the hot topics around the NFL. And then I go live additionally whenever news breaks. And I go live almost every other night to mock draft or do a Q&A session. We're sometimes live three times a day. What other show's doing that? I didn't think so. Okay? Let's get into the news. First of all, first and foremost, we don't need to talk about this too long. because it's already been hammered home on a separate live stream, the video right before this one. We did an emergency live stream. Deshaun Watson getting 11 games, being fined $5 million, all that money going to charity. He's required to go through an evaluation process, potentially like rehab in a way, or an evaluation to then determine what's next, I suppose you could say. Watson coming at it and making things a whole lot worse, throwing a lot of gasoline on this situation. At the end of this conclusion today, comes out and says that, he did nothing wrong. Instead of just being no comment, I want to move forward, no comment, I want to move forward, which would have been a lot better approach. He comes out and basically just throws gasoline all over the situation, saying that he didn't do anything wrong, and that, settling, and which is true. Sometimes settlements they aren't an admission of guilt, but he settled, and he came out and just kind of threw gasoline all over the situation. Which I think, because I've been saying all along, this thing isn't over. It's not over. That this could maybe trigger more people of the 60 to 100. I'm not stuttering. 60 to 100 potential situations that he was involved in that were exactly like the ones reportedly that he was involved in these these settlements. So I mean, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. I know a lot of people want it to be over. And I know I want it to be over. I don't want to talk about this over and over and over, but we only talk about it when there's new information. So we won't beat a dead horse on this, other than to say Roger Goodell and the NFL giving Watson 11 games to ironically come back in week 13 against the Houston Texans is kind of head scratching to me. It's head scratching to me. How you decide as Roger Goodell, because it was Roger Goodell, his proxy, Harvey, making the decision, or actually it was a settlement, but it was Harvey with the threat of a full game suspension that made the two sides come together. So Harvey didn't actually make this determination. This was a settlement between the NFL and the NFLPA based on the threat of Harvey coming down with the hammer that was really Roger Goodell. So Harvey didn't make this number. This was, let me make it clear. Earlier I might have made it sound like Harvey made this determination of 11 games. The NFL, this is the proposal between the two sides to agree upon, the NFLPA and the NFL. The NFL wanted to go after a full year. That was posturing in some ways, right? Because they accepted less, but they wanted a full year. The NFL didn't want to go to federal court, which this thing most certainly would have went to federal court. And so now we're at 11 games, $5 million fine, evaluation, and potential, therapy, whatever they're going to look to do. And Watson claiming he's innocent, which is going to throw fuel on the fire. And we wonder what else is going to happen next. So this is that's all I'm going to say about the Watson part. We've got a whole video, the video prior, if you want to go watch my reaction and what we're thinking about this thing, when the news broke live. This is great news right here. Joseph Cigar smoking Burrow right here has resumed participating in team drills. Let's go, Joe Burrow. Joseph Burrow is back. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.
This guy right here, Joe Burrow, is the biggest steal in fantasy football 2022. I am probably going to do, I don't know if it's smart to do it, but I think it's an obligation I have to the community. I'm going to do a live stream where I come out and say, Joe Burrow, Burrow, Mr. B, Joey B, Joe Burrow. Do that 10,000 times. Say Joe Burrow's name 10,000 times. It could take me an hour and a half, could take me 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I don't know. But I will say it straight. I'm not going to come on and give a lot of fantasy advice at all. Just me saying Joe Burrow 10,000 times. Probably losing my voice, which I've already done, which is a dumb move for me to do. Why do that? I lost my voice already going live so much, screaming and yelling. And I'm going to go ahead and do a live stream saying Joe Burrow 10,000 times. It's Joe Burrow awareness. I'm not doing it because I want to do it. I'm doing it because I have to do it. I'm doing it because I'm obligated to do it. Joe Burrow's sitting around 6'7", and I don't understand why. So Joe Burrow awareness is needed. And if I do a video that says Joe Burrow 10,000 times in a row, which is going to make people frustrated they can't mock draft. Hey, Smitty, why don't we just stop this and mock draft? I understand it's not going to be the most exciting video in the world, but it's all about impact and how far we can reach people and make sure they're aware Joe Burrow exists. Because for some reason on ESPN, this is the 7th or 8th ranked quarterback, and that's great news for you, right? I'm not going to reach the entire planet with this video, but I need to reach enough of my people and people that need to be a part of this community to understand the impact of Joe Burrow at 6-7 round value. Win a league value. There is no better value. This is the number one value in fantasy football 2022. So get ready for the Joe Burrow 10,000 repetitive said time video show. I'm not sure when it's coming, but it's coming. And let's see here. Guys, just grab Watson in the third and one QB. Oh my God, bro. Turn your output volume so you can whisper and still sound like you're shouting. That's a good piece of advice. But Joe Burrow's back. Excited. Let's go.
Mashed potatoes.
Joe Burrow to the
moon.
To the moon, Joey B. Joey B. Best value in fantasy football. 6'7". Are you out of your minds? 6'7". Actually, Javonte is still the best value in fantasy football in the second round. Anywhere in the second round. 2.1, boom, smash it. 2.2, oh, even better. 2.3, are you out of your mind? 2.4, that doesn't exist. That exists only in fairy tale land. 2.5, yeah, right. What? When I close my eyes and go to sleep and dream of Javonte Williams, that's what happens at 2.5. 2.6, you're out of your mind. There's no way I'm seeing. I hear people say they're still getting Javonte Williams at 2.10, 2.12. I don't see it. I've never seen it. This is a unicorn. This is you see Javonte anywhere below 2.4, 2.5. These are unicorns. I've never seen them. They don't exist in my world. But if for any reason you believe in unicorns and you think you might see Javonte Williams at 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, go have fun. Go have fun. Grab them all day long. Go win your league. 2.1, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5. That's fairy tale land that you should take full part in. Jump in with feet first. Okay? This is anywhere in round 2, you win a league. Anywhere in round 2, you win a league. Meet the Woo saying he's getting them at 2.12 all the time. I don't know how long this will last. If some of you are getting Javonte at this value, 2.12, consider this your last call. Closing time. Can I get Asher or Rock Out to please real quickly? I don't need guitars or music. Just an acapella closing time. You can get Javonte in the second round, but it won't last long. Something. Just give it to me quick. Anybody wants to give me some acapella closing time Javonte round 2 song. I need it now. I need my music fix. Bring it in. We got a room full of musicians watching this show. Anytime I snap my fingers, I get music like that. Asher, Rock Out, anybody, drop it. Drop it. Closing time, go. Javonte 2.12. It's unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. I've got Javonte at 1.10. And Matt's already in the first round. Matt's already rolled his sleeves up and just dug right into the first round, which, I don't know that I want to convey that message because I will be okay with that, Matt, but be quiet. Don't start triggering Javonte round 1. I'm really afraid when we mock draft tonight, it's going to be round 1 Javonte. I don't think I could even slow you guys down. You're going to snipe and you're going to try and own them. Someone's taking them at 7. Someone's taking them at 8. It's going to be kind of crazy. So I'm going to look for Rock Out's message. Rock Out, let me know. Usually Rock Out's pretty money with this stuff, and if it's not Rock Out, somebody else can send me an attempt to try and knock out Rock Out. Let's go. Ron Navy dropping a super chat. Ron Navy, thank you. FFPC, $125, 200K top prize, best ball draft tonight, 3 spot. Attaboy, Ron. Ron Navy's just a best ball machine. I got Javonte 2.12 best ball. Awesome. Deshaun Watson had wanted to play last year. He would have been on the exempt list, and that would have counted as time served. So this question by Jesse, let me see if I can pull it on and reread it. If Deshaun Watson had wanted to play last year, he would have been on the exempt list. This is a question, and that would have counted as time served. So to my knowledge, it depends on how you're tagged on that list. So if you're paid leave, you're accruing your exempt list. He'd have to be the non-paid exempt list to. I'm not even sure if that would count as an accrual. That's a good question for our attorneys that we bring on here all the time as far as accruals. But bottom line is, it's not about if he wanted to play. Deshaun Watson couldn't have played if he wanted to last year. Everyone says he didn't want to play. That's not true. The NFL wouldn't have let him play. The NFL wouldn't have let him play. The things would have sped along differently. Everybody kind of just stood at a standstill because of the Texans putting him on the bench. It's tough to say what would have happened. We don't really know. But he sat out the entire season. Some of us thought that the NFL could have looked at some of that as time served, but they didn't really factor that in as it sounds. Watson news ends today, Smitty, says Joel. I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. I'm not talking about anything repetitive, though. I only merely talk about new stuff. So I'm tired of talking about it, too, but it's not going to end. It's just the beginning. Not the beginning, but it's I don't know. So Javonte, 1 point. I love that. Okay, let's get to the other piece of news. Look, this right here. I feel, who's at the backyard? Who's at the backyard? This alarm system is triggering all kinds of like different things. But we do have the gardener. We do have different things going on. Okay, we're trying to get the gardener back, but he's pretty much retired. He gave up and quit on my yard. He quit on my yard like in the middle of the night, and I had weeds this high, and so I convinced him to come back for just a little bit to try and tame it down before your boy Smitty then becomes a gardener again. Because I'm gonna have to do the gardening around this joint. Because my gardener's quitting on me. He says my yard's too difficult. The weeds are too thick at Casa de Smitty. We're too strong. Even the weeds are too strong. We're working overtime. The weeds are working overtime. Guy gave up. Tom Brady, this is a concern. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy and I'm always trying to drum up something. I'm not trying to drum up. There's a lot of positive stuff going on the screen here. But when I see smoke, I tend to think there could be fire. Okay? I've done this for a long time. And I'm not saying I feel there's 100% problem, or worry here. There's a reason to be 100% worried, but there's a reason to sound the alarm a little bit. Because Tom Brady, there's some weird verbiage coming out of Tampa when Coach Todd Bowles was asked about Tom Brady's return. He said no definitive date on his return, and he actually, here's another quote right here. He said, "We'll see." Like they don't know when he's coming back. This isn't something where they're like, they said it was planned. Like, I'm sorry, but when I see smoke, I know there's fire potentially somewhere. Maybe the smoke isn't burning anymore, and it was a little bit, there's some fear, but then they put it out. But there's certainly smoke here. We'll see. We'll talk about this next week, says Bulls. I'm not concerned about it right now. And everybody, like ESPN reported on this about 15 minutes ago. And then the reporter that was talking about was like, I don't get a sense that the Bucs are concerned at all. What do you mean? Just because they said I'm not concerned right now? Like, is anybody else not reporting on this? I don't even understand how I'm the only one talking about this. There's nobody talking about this. I watched ESPN specifically right now before the show to see if maybe they knew something, they had some information, some of the analysts might give a guess. Nobody's talking about it. They said the exact opposite. We're not concerned. It sounds like nobody in Tampa is concerned about Tom Brady. Back to you, Bob. And it was like, are you kidding me? The verbiage by Bowles himself is concerning. I mean, here's what I'm thinking is going on here if I had to guess. Tom Brady regrets his decision. Tom Brady's not feeling coming back was a wise move. He's getting older. He probably has a sense his body's breaking down. And I've said that the Tampa Bay Bucs aren't going to make the Super Bowl or even be a division winner or even be a potential division winner. And I'm getting a whole lot of pushback on that. My guess, my little itty bitty guess, is that this thing's going to change directions in the eye of the public. And people are going to start jumping off the Tom Brady ship, like a lot of people are saying in the chat. Tampa Bay down, jumping off the ship. Tom Brady, this is not normal. If somebody's going to tell me this is the most common thing that someone's going to come to me and say in this situation, and I get it every day. You don't even need to say it. I know what you're going to say. All you Tampa Bay or Tom Brady fantasy owners are going to naturally come to his defense and go, Smitty, I've got it. Ready? Here we go. Smitty, he's Tom Brady. He's Tom Brady, Smitty. Tampa Tom doesn't need to come back. He'd be here in August. He's Tom Brady. He's Tom Brady. I'm waiting for one of those comments. Let's see. Somebody give me it. Tom asking Miss Brady if he can come out and play. His wife is pressuring him. Isn't his O-line worse this year? I'm waiting for somebody to naturally defend him. I'm not trying to call you out, but it's like there's always going to be 1 or 2 out of 10 people, and you know they're Tom Brady owners. They have to be, or they're Mike Evans owners. There's some invested interest, but they come out and say, he's Tom Brady. He doesn't even have to show up until halftime of the first game, Smitty. Like, technically speaking, Tom Brady could miss the first 2 quarters of every game, and I'd still believe in Tom Brady, Smitty. I don't know. I wish we knew what was going on. Now, some are speculating medical. Okay? If there is a problem, let's say a family member is deathly ill, then our prayers are up for Tom Brady. Okay, I want people to totally understand. I'm not trying to be callous here. This is me breaking down this situation from the information that we have in front of us. I believe it was Adam Schefter that reported that there's no medical or family emergency situation going on. If that information is false, then obviously that is good reason to be absent. However, I don't think a Tom Brady of 2 years ago, 3 years ago would be out this indefinite amount of time in August. And I'm not trying to say that people should handle adversity different, but there are people that literally, lose somebody and play that game. So I don't know that there would be a potential where someone would be gone for all of August for this type of situation, but you could understand why. And prayers up if that's the situation. But we've been told, and it could be wrong, the report could be wrong, that there is no medical or family emergency type situation. No one is sick and there's nothing that's relating to that. That has been probably clarified on a couple different levels, but it could be wrong. Maybe they don't want anybody to know. And they're like, it's not nothing. Don't worry about it. It's not an emergency. It's more about me wanting to spend time with a family member that might be dying or something like that. And there is prayers up and enough, no questions asked, and you move on. But if it is related to work-life balance, which is what was said, everybody out here is saying that it's someone that maybe got sick or whatever. That's speculation based on the fact that we've heard that it's work-life balance that he wants in August. Work-life balance in August. Look, I'm sorry. These comments here, let's see. Is this a supporting comment? Tom Brady is the GOAT. Still time to fade, folks. He's 45. Okay, I just want to make sure. Tom Brady wouldn't do this 3 years ago. Him being the GOAT doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's the GOAT, but his team isn't, another 50 Tom Bradys. This is Tom Brady and his team. And his team has Julio Jones and Gage, who are not fully they haven't built that rapport fully with Tom Brady. There's a lot of cohesion that needs to take place for this team to come in and march down the field and win a Super Bowl. So the fact that we've been told that it's work-life balance related and that this probably has nothing to do with an emergency or anything medical with family or anything like that, I'm assuming Tom Brady doesn't want to play football right now. He's kind of gathering his thoughts. He's kind of going around saying, do I even want to do this? It's a long season. And I'm halfway to 50 years old, and I thought this was a good idea, and I don't know that it is. This is the only explanation I can come up with. Somebody in here call in and give me a defense of Tom Brady, and don't give me some weak. He's Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. He gets the benefit of the doubt. That's what I keep reading in my comments and being told. He's Tom Brady. Give me tangible evidence or some kind of tangible reasoning and rationale as to why Tom Brady is okay to be missing for a majority of August while his team needs him to prepare and build cohesion in order to try and win a Super Bowl. I'm sorry, but if you take this into context with everybody else's situations, right? you look at Diggs, and you look at Josh Allen, and you say to yourself, if Josh Allen were to just leave, and I don't want to hear Brady's the GOAT, he can leave and Josh Allen can't. Josh Allen, as far as I know, is ranked higher by every single human being with a pulse in the NFL right now. He's a better player than Tom Brady is right now. Tom Brady's on his way down. He's still got a whole lot of knowledge and skill and goatness up in the noggin, but it is Josh Allen. Josh Allen and Herbert are the top 2 quarterbacks in the NFL. Joseph Burrow has something to say about that. Joseph Burrow says, I might be.
Let's go. Mashed potatoes.
But what if Josh Allen decided not to show up for August? You think people are saying, oh, yeah, it's fine. Bills are the Bills. They're fine. They'll be good. No. Maybe his mom is unwell. Again, if that is the case, then it's understandable what's going on. But at the same time, bro, they're sitting here saying it's a work-life balance situation, which could be wrong, and those reports could be wrong. They're also saying, I think Schefter reported, and it could be wrong, that it's not a health-related issue. It is a work-life balance issue. So the phone lines are open. If anyone wants to come and argue this situation, I'm all ears. Order 66, appreciate your super chat. Let's go.
Mashed potatoes.
Order 66 says the reason Brady is as great as he is because of all the work he put in every year. This should be at least a little concerning. And that's the thing is, like, Tom Brady wouldn't do this 3 years ago. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't even consider it. I don't care if he was. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't take off all of August. He just wouldn't. Wasn't she battling? I don't know what the status is of family members until I hear something. I'm not going to speculate that his family's sick or that something is going on. That's a speculation that I think he deserves not to have made. I don't think people should be doing any kind of guesswork. What we know is what we know. They've said it's not something like that. That we've had multiple reports on that. Okay. Let's stop with the Tom Brady news. It's all speculation, but it's concerning to me. Let's talk about a positive thing. We got Michael Pittman has been a hit. He's hit it off with Matt Ryan and been an absolute star. Michael Pittman looking like he's headed to the moon. Question is, where do you draft him? And I continue to say 4th round, 4.1. 4.1 is a home run. Could he earn you 3rd round value? Absolutely could. But I think you should be careful and pay the proper price so that it's built in. And this guy, Michael Pittman, can earn you what you're paying no matter what. You want to get him in a worst case, low floor, high ceiling value. And this guy is a steal at 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4. But my line is 4.1 to ensure you're getting a proper balance with your team and you're not stretching and reaching to have a player have to do something in order to get your value back. Ron Navy, what's up, my man?
Hey, man. Well, I gotta kind of defend Brady on this one because I tell you what, if anybody has a terminal family member or whatever, if that's the case, you're going to tell the press anything to keep away from that because all you want to do is spend time with that family member and not be harassed 24/7. And just as you are speculating in a way that you're saying maybe he don't want to play football no more, that's a speculation too. So, you're saying you're not going to speculate again about a family member, but it's still all speculation. And I think he deserved the right to have a little privacy, especially if it's, and I don't want the world knowing if I'm going through something like that. I don't want them knowing. So I'm just going to tell them it's whatever. Leave me alone.
Yeah, and
that's what I'm going to do.
From that perspective, I agree with you. But I'm not probing into his life, you know what I mean? So I think what you're saying is, like, if let's say a reporter was trying to dig into this and talk to him and, like, that's sure. But from my perspective, and this might sound callous or whatever, but I'm looking at it from an angle of what do we do? How do we predict what is going on? How is he going to be on the field in 2022? How that's going to be my first objective for everybody watching is what do you do from a fantasy and ownership perspective with Tom Brady? So I am forced to talk about it from a different angle. I get that people sometimes separate themselves. So, like, for me, I know a couple things. I know Tom Brady, we are hearing from multiple different reports, high level, like Schefter level, that it's not medical. And you're right, they could be trying to, like, divert people away from it, right? So I understand that. But from what we know, it's not medical. And there was specific verbiage that this was planned in advance. So that doesn't mean someone's, likely, going downhill medically. It was planned, and it's work-life balance related. So we have different reports that don't sound at all like it's medical or some kind of random someone's sick. If it is, then it's understandable. But if it's work-life balance like being told to us, and we're assuming those aren't false reports and there's different reports saying it, if we assume that's true, this is very concerning in terms of the Bucs' future, like the immediate future, the 2022 season, and it's concerning for all the players that are in this offense that don't have Tom Brady's goatness to rely upon to just walk into week 1 and thrive. He's got to throw the ball to people that won't have that rapport built. So as good as he's looking, it does, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, all I'm saying is I'm here to sound an alarm, Ron Navy, and when I see red flags from a fantasy perspective, we have to, regardless of what the situation is. Let's say it is a family medical issue. It's still concerning that he's not in camp from a fantasy perspective, and that's the angle I'm coming from. Sometimes it looks callous and shallow to just gloss over, and say, well, we'll give him a fantasy football pass. Like, we can't. He's a risk right now in 2022 of having a very slow start and not having continuity and rapport built with new wide receivers like Gage and Julio. You got Brate now that you got to build rapport with. This thing is going to be all off kilter walking into week 1, in my opinion. And I think Tampa is in real trouble of not being a contender in 2022, partly because of this. There's divorce reports. There's concern about Giselle even having a problem with his decision to come back. He retired and literally unretired immediately. He told on a report inside the playoffs, did an interview where he said, I am playing at such a high level, especially mentally, I couldn't imagine retiring. Literally the next game, the Bucs lose, and he announces his retirement shortly after. So there's some pressure at home for him to retire, and he didn't want to do it. So he either's getting so much pressure at home, there's something going on at home, or he's changed his mind and doesn't want to play, or we're being lied to, which is fine. There's some medical issue, but why are people telling us this was planned?
Let me rebuff that a little bit here. He was he very well could have been disappointed last year because they were so close, and he probably figured out. And a lot of them do that. I mean, look at Favre. He retired on retired, retired on retired, retired on retired.
Yeah, most people do.
He kept coming back. But the thing with his wife, I don't see that as a thing. I mean, they got plenty of money, and if there was a problem, they wouldn't do a commercial like they did, that funny commercial together where they're like, you in that Bitcoin commercial where they were like, that one I'm talking about, and she was in it. And if there's a problem, she's not going to be in that commercial.
I mean, maybe, but maybe not. I mean, if anybody's been in a situation like a divorce situation, things are always look great on the surface, bro. No matter what, especially when you're in the public eye, you continue to give off that everything's perfectly fine. And most people that end, divorces, anybody that knows a recent divorce, think about it. You're like shocked in some cases, like holy crap. So I don't know if I would paint that picture. Mark Cleveland says his wife is going to leave him if he doesn't retire. Mark Cleveland. Yeah, I mean, look,
that's all speculative.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but
here's the reality.
We have to speculate.
Here's the reality of it. I've already drafted him in best ball. There's nothing I can do about it. You can't undo that. Now, in redraft leagues, you have a better opportunity. If he comes out and he's slow or whatever, you have an opportunity to trade him. You might get some value out of him, saying, hey, he might come around, they might come around or whatever. I mean, you can go down that route if you already drafted and you already have him. And if you don't have him and you haven't drafted, then, yeah, the red flags are out there and you take your chance on whether you want to take a chance on him or you don't want to take a chance on him.
Hey,
so that's the reality of it. If you already have him, you have him.
Can I, Cheryl, by the way, I'm about to answer this super chat question, so hang tight. Appreciate you, Cheryl. Thank you so much. Let me simplify this. Ron Navy, are you a little less likely to draft Tom Brady as your starting quarterback in your upcoming best ball draft tonight or tomorrow or the next day? Just let me know what you think of that. Are you saying to yourself, okay, maybe A-Rod or Stafford or whatever player you're contemplating normally with Tom Brady? Are you a little bit worried about drafting Tom Brady now from this news?
No, it depends how the draft goes. If Brady is the one guy down there, then I won't hesitate to draft him because I know how he's been, and I never bet against Brady. Anything Brady, I don't bet against him. Yeah, he's either going to retire or he's going to start to slump at some point, and that could be this year or whatever. But normally everybody knows I like Cousins anyway, so normally I'm skipping Brady and going to Cousins for my second quarterback.
Oh, there he is. Okay, but I'm just saying, who's a player you're contemplating over Brady or Brady over that player, like Aaron Rodgers? Like, give me a name that you would take Brady over him, but slightly. Like, you're telling me you wouldn't lean in the direction of, I don't know. It would be like Aaron Rodgers or Stafford or somebody like that. Hurts is going too high now. Like Trey Lance. Would you have taken Trey Lance over Tom Brady anyway, or is that something you would consider now? You can't tell me you would take Brady in the same spot right now, given that he's missing in August.
I've taken Lance several times already over Brady and Stafford and all them other quarterbacks. I've been taking Lance a lot. But now here I would take Brady over Stafford at this point because Stafford's got that elbow issue going on. So I'm more concerned about Stafford than I am about Brady.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the angle, and I'm not arguing against anything that you're really saying when you're saying that, he's got the benefit of the doubt in a lot of ways, but I'm just saying from an advice perspective, which is why I'm here, that there's concern.
I agree with you.
There's concern.
I agree with you on the point that there is concern, and there can be concern, and yes, it might affect their start in the season. But usually, I every time you bet against Brady, he proves you wrong.
Yeah, but that's
been throughout.
He's halfway to 50.
Like
that's gonna eventually not be a good strategy. He's halfway to 50.
No, it's not. But
I know there I go again throwing around how old somebody is, but we're not talking about me disrespecting a 27-year-old and saying he's old. Get him out of there. Running backs 27 is 55 in running back years. This really is somebody about to turn 50. Look, and there's nothing wrong with that in the real world. We're talking about football, and in football,
he's still 5 years away from 50.
You what?
He's still 5 years away from 50. Come on.
Yeah, but look, we're at every year Tom Brady plays at an elite level. It's astronomically amazing and an anomaly, and just 45 is crazy, and I think
how many touchdowns did he throw last year?
Ron, I understand, but he's missing in August. How many times has he been missing in August when he's normally there living, breathing football? Never. This is something has to be wrong with his not, and I'm not saying it's not driven by medical or something that's legitimately like prayers up, and we really, really are with him. Thoughts and prayers with Tom Brady. We don't know. It could be something like you said, but everything we're being told, this was planned. It's work-life balance. It sounds like it could be family related in terms of that, like the struggle of him coming back.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, this is where I'll end it. There's enough concern here to go with guys that are around his ADP without question. If you're taking A-Rod and Brady like this, you got to put A-Rod above him now. If you're taking Stafford and Brady like this, you got to put Stafford above him, even with the elbow, because it's the elbow is less concerning than Brady being missing in August, with a report coming out by Bowles himself, and the report says this: "We'll see. We'll talk about it next week. I'm not concerned about it right now." Like, if this wasn't a problem, if Bowles wasn't concerned, why would he say right now? Why would he use that verbiage? He would say, "I'm not concerned. This has been planned. It's enough questions. We've known about this. It's fine." Bowles doesn't like it himself. Bowles is not feeling great about it. If it was something that was like family related, you would assume that he's like, look, give him his privacy, whatever. But he's kind of like, you could tell this sentence right here. But I'm going to break it down from a psychological perspective. Let's go with it. I'm not concerned about it right now. That's a very, very distinct statement that I feel like is easy to read into. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll see. We'll see. Are you concerned like what's going on? We'll see. Like that's not something where everybody's on the same page. You know? And
answer that. How many preseason games has he played in the last 3 years?
But that's not the point. Preseason doesn't matter. What matters is the cohesion in practice right now. Getting the plays set, getting everybody on the same page. Everybody keeps saying that. Preseason, don't worry about who cares about preseason? I'm not worried about preseason at all. I'm worried about this team as a unit learning together, building cohesion. You have Julio Jones not playing with Tom Brady right now. Gage not playing with Tom Brady right now. Brait not playing with Tom Brady. Otten, the rookie, not playing with Tom Brady. Offensive line trying to build cohesion. How do you block for Tom Brady? How do you go through the motions here? Getting yelled at by Tom Brady. You need to do this at this point. The GOAT constructing and orchestrating the practice. These are such vital things. This offense is going to come out and be flat. Tom Brady's going to be throwing iPads into the ground if he even cares at that point, because this thing's not going to be flowing like a smooth operation. Is not. I don't think it can. How could it? How could he walk in? I don't care if he's Tom Brady times 2. There's only one of him.
He was there all through training camp up to the first preseason game. So who says he wasn't building that collusion with them during the camp? I wasn't there 24/7 watching them practice. He very well could have been.
But Ron, still, this is the most vital time. There's only certain things you can do in the offseason. Now you get into pads. Now you start getting contact. Not that you want Brady getting hit. I'm saying the team, the surrounding components of Tom Brady. This isn't about Tom Brady. It's about the surrounding components being around Tom Brady, absorbing Tom Brady, learning from Tom Brady, building cohesiveness with Tom Brady, walking around in shorts together all offseason. That doesn't do anything. That's the least vital part of the offseason. The most vital part is August, when you're coming together as a unit with contact and learning how to block together, how to pull, how to just. It's so much more complicated than the offseason, all offseason long. It's August. August is where it's all at. And Tom Brady, my whole point, let's end it here because we're beating a dead horse, but Tom Brady being missing during August is very concerning. That's all I'm going to say. And I feel like there's something more going on here. And to Giselle's defense, everybody going at Giselle in the chat, like, this is a hard life on any level, whether any touch point you have to the NFL and this business. Like, does anybody think I'm an easy person to deal with? Does anybody think I just walk out of my office? Like, I walk out of the studio at 7:45 p.m. instead of 6:10. Like, I'll be out at, hey, Miss Smitty, I'll get that food. I'll be out at 6:10. 6:10 turns into 6:30. 6:30 turns into 7:15. 7:30 turns into 7:45. Do you guys picture my family sitting outside the doors, and as soon as I walk out, they go,
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
there he is. There's the man of the hour. I walk out, people are asleep, disappointed in me. But you know what? August is August, and I'm not comparing myself to the GOAT, Tom Brady, but from my point of view, from my job, do you know how much sacrifice goes in to August? How much sacrifice goes on outside those studio doors? I can't imagine what happens for Tom Brady. It's like, so you got to do it, though. I can't take off August. If there was a family issue, yes. And again, prayers up to Tom Brady if there's a family issue. But like August, for everybody in this business on any angle, whether you're a reporter, a broadcaster, a player, like August is where you don't even know other people exist in your life. And that's the nature of what we do. There's, and so like, I'm not judging Tom Brady. I'm saying that when somebody with the mentality of Tom Brady, or when somebody like me in my situation go missing during the most vital part, something's wrong. Something's wrong. And whether it is something that's temporary, or long-term, if it's like a family member and a death or something like that, it's a temporary absence, a temporary, like, I'm out of here, I'm checking out, I'll be back later, but I will be back, that being temporary. then yeah, there's some reason to be like, okay, maybe it all gets resolved. But to me, he's checking out in my mind so far, given that this is, it's a planned situation. This was planned before he decided to come back. What, a Six Flags trip was, or something like that? They're acting like it was like a Six Flags trip that they couldn't cancel in August because he already committed to going. You know, like, I don't know. Anyway.
Well, all your points are valid points, and it very well. I mean, I just don't look at it at the extreme that you look at it, for me. But your points are very valid, and I understand your points. And so, yeah, you know, I mean, I'm just not as concerned as you are about it. That's all.
Yeah, I just
and what you say is true, and you're making valid points.
Yeah, I think he's just spending time with his family. I get it, Marlon. I appreciate it. And Marlon says again, he deserves the benefit of the doubt. That's not what this is about. Like these are the comments I'm talking about. And Marlon, I'm not saying your comments are bad. I'm saying this is the typical perception of it. Oh, he gets the benefit of the doubt. He's Tom Brady. I think he's just spending time with family. That's not a luxury you have in the NFL. It's not a luxury you have. It's not a luxury that anybody has in August that is embedded in the NFL, in NFL coverage and all. You don't get to do this. This isn't what you get. This isn't what you sign up for. You either get out or you don't spend time with family in August. I'm sorry, that's the brutal truth. I know a lot of people are like, Tom Brady gets to spend time with family, work-life balance. There is no work-life balance in August for an NFL athlete. And Tom Brady knows this. And I think that's why Tom Brady is out. So who knows? If it is like someone saying support for his mom and things like that, I get it. I understand it. And once we know that information, we'll have a lot more to work with. But right now we have to assume that that's not the case because they've come out and said, and they being Schefter and big name reporters speaking about it, saying this is not medical. It's not anything relating to an individual's health or anything like that. Is work-life balance, and this was planned already before he unretired. And so all of that to me makes me feel like it's not related to like somebody being sick or anything. If it is, then it's understandable. It's still going to affect him. Like, you want me to tell you the honest truth. Him being out for August, regardless of the reason, and prayers up if it is a medical issue. God forbid anybody has to deal with that during the worst part of their work, the most aggressive and dedicated part of their job where they got to be there, and then a medical or family member is sick. Like, God forbid, prayers up. And I'm not judging him for being gone of all of August, September, October. If he wanted to spend time with his mom and his mom was sick or something, good for him. Like, I admire that. But if we're talking about the results on the field, we have to be brutally honest with where this is headed, and it's not headed in a good direction for the Bucs. It just isn't. Like, we could talk a dance around it, be like, oh, okay, everything should be fine. Like, I'm here to analyze it, and I'm telling you, it's not looking good. Hey, let's move on to a different topic. Hey, Ron Navy, this guy Michael Pittman is.
Here's one last thing, and it actually is in your favor. He's got to have the character, which he's had in the past, but maybe he doesn't have the character because right after Brett Favre's dad died, he went out and played the best game of his life right after. So, and that was a family issue. So there you go. Yeah,
I mean, that's the other thing too, is we've got, and I'm not saying you should come out and practice when you're family member, but like these players have proven that they're so dedicated. And what's great about that, like, let me just say that from a positive perspective, when an NFL player's family member dies and they come out and just play the game of their life, like, that's admirable. And I don't think it's something to where we say something like, oh, they should all do that. That's crazy if you don't do it. When someone's sick or ill, you come out and you ball out. What it is almost a dedication to the individual that is sacrificed along with you. Like, parents, and like, you're an NFL player and you have a parent that dies, or a brother or a sister or a family member, and these players come out and ball out and dedicate a game to them. It's almost like that person that passed on knows their life and lived the life with them and knows the commitment they have to their craft, and that yeah, I always admire when that happens, but I don't not admire when it doesn't. I understand everybody handles grief differently, and nobody should be expected when they're having a baby to stay on the field, or if someone dies to play the next game. Like no one thinks that should be the norm or something. It's a case by case situation. Everybody handles grief different. And so I don't want to go there though, because we don't know if anybody's even sick, because the reports we're getting suggest that it's not. But if it is, prayers up. I understand, but it doesn't matter though. Like from an analyst perspective, the Bucs are in trouble. So like regardless of why Tom Brady's missing, like I almost don't even want to go there, because it feels callous to start judging if he should be missing or not. But if he is actually not facing a family or medical situation, he's not wanting to play, maybe, is what he's going through. He came back. People also have to remember, he thought he was getting traded to the Miami Dolphins. I don't think people really understand how locked in and for sure that was at one point. Tom Brady and Sean Payton were both as good as gone, headed to Miami. Sean Payton was going to be the coach. Tom Brady was as locked and loaded as it could get. That trade that was pretty much, that whole situation was pretty much done in principle. And then the whole Flores thing came out, and it looked so bad that the NFL was just interviewing, or the Dolphins were just interviewing to go through the motions, right? To accommodate all the regulations. They were going through the motions when Sean Payton was already the coach in theory. Tom Brady was already getting traded to the Miami Dolphins. Everything was pretty much done. And the Flores things unraveled that. So Tom Brady's not where he envisioned being to begin with. And there's a lot involved in that, I think, that people don't truly know about. And so anyway, let's move on.
Right.
Enough Tom Brady. Michael Pittman, this guy right here.
As an analyst, you're required to bring out and let everybody know, I mean, the worst case scenarios. So that's your job. So I get you.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll let you go. Let you go, Smitty.
Hey, Ron, real quickly, one sentence reaction. Michael Pittman, what do you think of this man who's becoming, the hit of camp, unguardable? I've said that third round's still risky. I still say that. Not because I don't like him. Everyone thinks I don't like Michael Pittman just because I don't want to make him my third drafted player. What do you think about Pittman at 3.1 versus 3.5 versus 3.12 versus fourth round value?
I'd rather have him in fourth round value, and I'd rather have him and Williams both at fourth round value.
Okay. Gotcha, pal. Appreciate you, Ron.
All right.
Good stuff, man.
Later.
Good stuff. Later. That was good. Ron came in with the counter, and that's what I wanted. I asked somebody to call in and give me the counterpoints. So Ron did exactly what I asked him to do. Ron did a good job holding that argument down, because I mean, literally, we were debating it. Cheryl, are you still there? I apologize. Hey, Smitty, later rounds, wide receiver 1 through 3 spots filled. Juju, Kirk, Tony available. Who do you like best? I received a trade offer yesterday. Juju, Monty for Chase and Brees. I need that video you have with the two boys in the water. Oh, this one right here?
You are offer sex. You are trade offer sex.
Yeah, okay, so Cheryl's saying basically she received this awful offer from somebody. Juju and Monty in exchange for Jamar Chase. This person didn't even ask for just Jamar. Like, they got greedy. Like, what a greedy individual, Cheryl, this person is. Like, you're going to say, here's Juju and Monty, and they're literally dilly-dallying, at the computer. Maybe I'm going to select Jamar Chase. I'm going to try to steal away Jamar Chase from Cheryl, who is the fantasy football show connoisseur. You're not tricking Cheryl. What do you make her for? Cheryl is a machine, a fantasy football machine, and she's a longtime subscriber of the fantasyfootballshow.com. And this is not someone you're messing with. And you're gonna come out and you're gonna offer Monty and Juju. You're gonna actually check the box of Jamar Chase and then think, oh, I'm not going to, like, even if you think you're pulling one over, I'm not going to ruin my chances of sneaking this one by. I'll just check Breece Hall as well.
You are off for sex. You are made off for sex.
I mean, unreal. I don't know if I answered orders super chat. I don't know if I answered. I think I'm caught up on the super chats, but unbelievable. Is Cheryl still here? Unbelievable. The disrespect to send that trade offer. As for the rest of the question, yeah, hey, Cheryl, just so you know, that played at roughly 55 minutes into the show. So if you want to send that. The league needs to veto that trade. Spacey, Cheryl didn't make the trade. Cheryl knows what she's doing. She's saying she needs that video to send to the individual that sent that dumb offer to her. She's wanting me to say, hey, Bob, here's Cheryl's reaction. This is what Cheryl's asking. She didn't do the trade. Spacey, come on, give Cheryl credit. Cheryl knows what time it is. Cheryl's a veteran. But Cheryl's saying, hey, Bob. Okay, here you go, Cheryl. At 55 minutes and 55 seconds. 5555. That's perfect. At 55 minutes and 55 seconds. Bob, this one's for you. Cheryl has a message. Yeah, hey, Bob, about your trade offer.
You are off for sex. You are made off for sex.
Get breached. Get breached.
You know.
I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. As for the first part of this question, and I'm sorry it took me so long to answer this, Cheryl. No problem, Space Ricky. I was just letting you know Cheryl knows what time it is. Wide receivers 1 through 3 spots filled. And you need a later round wide receiver, Juju, Kirk, Tony. So I'll probably say this. I'll probably say Juju feels like the guy everyone's talking about right now. Hardman hurt. There's a lot of reasons why Juju is set up to have a really decent season. Okay. I worry about him though, because he's failed us before in the past. And I probably lean Juju. I think he's got the most trade value. I think Kirk has a lot of value. Ron Navy's talked up Kirk a lot, and he's actually, swayed me a little bit more toward Kirk because Kirk, first of all, Kirk's good. Kirk in Arizona did really well. I love Christian Kirk. I think the idea of him getting overpaid to be a wide receiver 1 when he's not really a wide receiver 1, he's a wide receiver 1 in Jacksonville for sure, but he doesn't really deserve to be that highly paid. So I think it gives a little bit of you just end up counting him out, but really he's got good upside. Tony's probably the most physically gifted out of the 3, but he's in an awful offense. He's got a track record of being kind of spotty, and you don't really know what you're going to get out of him emotionally. So he's not really a safe pick, but he's got the most potential skill and upside and talent. So if you want to go with a home run, you could probably go with Tony. If you want to go with very, very steady Eddie, go with Christian Kirk. If you want to go with the guy that has the potential to really surprise and probably has as much now value as Kirk, but a little more risk maybe, but he's on the best offense, maybe Juju. I mean, I know I'm confusing myself here as to who I'm really suggesting, but let's go to the audience because I feel like this is so close. If we ask everybody and we get the consensus answer, that'll probably be the safest choice for you. So everybody let me know, Juju, Kirk, or Tony for your first bench wide receiver. Who you taking? Juju, Kirk, or Tony? Let's vote for Cheryl and give her the best answer we can. Order says the reason Brady is as great as he is because of the work he put in. Okay, I did read that. Yeah, so it's concerning that he's out. I get it. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Legion, when you get ridiculous trade offers, don't respond. Let them hang out there. Yeah, that's also a good tactic. You just let it sit there forever. Almost like you ask somebody to hold something and then you walk away and then you never come back and you just see how long they hold it. That's kind of the way that I look at that, We've got a Kirk, a Tony, a Juju Smith-Schuster. I think the people have spoken. We got about 5 or 6 Jujus in a row. Not to mention you have the most trade value with Juju. So maybe you can finagle out some kind of trade, especially if he has a one big game, 2 big games. You don't even have to make the trade before the season begins. Almost unanimous. There were like a couple votes at the beginning, but Juju is the clear consensus pick. And I think a lot of people would say he's got wide receiver 3 potential, whereas the other guys do feel like a really good potential to be your wide receiver 4. I think that probably tells you and guides you in the right direction is what player feels like they're the most capable of actually being your wide receiver 3. So I would definitely say Juju. The people have spoken. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Hey, Smitty, it's Steven.
Hey, Steve. Steven, hold on one sec. Hold on one second, Steven. Cheryl, appreciate your super chat. Sorry you waited there so long. Let's give Cheryl a round of applause for literally wanting to let this Bob know how she feels with his bad trade offer and this amazing super chat. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, go ahead. What's up, Steven? Tell me what you called about, and I'll try and help you the best I can.
Okay, so I have a question. During drafts, like how do you put this as part of your strategy? Considering to take some players, knowing that maybe that you read reports that they might end up, there's rumors that they might end up getting traded. For instance, DK or there's some teams that could need wide receiver because Green Bay definitely could be interested and maybe taking a wide receiver or something. Is there some things that you look at the guys for a certain situation and you think that he could get traded, or is that just something that you just want to just strictly go with best player available and not even think about that?
Yeah, you can't. Don't try and play chess with drafting players. When people say that to me, this reminds me a lot of this, right? When somebody says, and let me put this on screen because it's a great topic, overthinking. I'll just put overthinking. When somebody says, I don't really want to draft CMC, I'm worried about him, but maybe I can trade him. It's you're taking him at 6 overall. What are you going to really trade him for? A player that you could just draft right now? You know what I mean? Don't make moves based on assumptions where things gotta line up. That's like saying I'm gonna buy this stock at $100, okay? When I don't believe it's gonna be worth $100. Eventually, it's not gonna be worth $100. This thing's gonna crash, but maybe it goes to 120 real quick, and I can get it at 100 right now, and I'll try and sell it before when it goes from 100 to 120. But before it tanks to 50, I'm gonna get rid of it. Why even go in that direction? You know what I mean?
Oh no! What I was trying to say is drafting a player and he's on a certain team that, and then he I'm talking real life, if he gets if you draft a player and let's say he's on a sucky team and stuff, and he has a bad situation, but he could be playing good and another team might be interested in taking him.
Let's use Kareem.
Maybe, talks.
Let's use Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
Is that what you're thinking? A player like Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, a player like Kareem Hunt or maybe DK Metcalf, because there has been rumors that I've been reading about and and hearing about that as far as I know everybody's been saying that unless the Green Bay's comfortable with everything that they were trying to get another receiver now that Devontae Adams got traded to the Raiders obviously and stuff, but
okay, so
they want to find a replacement.
So everything's case by case, right? Let's use the DK example. He just signed an extension. The odds of them trading him after signing an extension are so low. We just don't see that. You don't see a team be here's a big contract. We finally did it. Now there's sign and trades and there's franchise tag and trades. So it's in the realm of possibility. But you can't even think about it, bro. You have to assume they gave him that money because they're not doing anything different than keeping him. So no, that's a bad way to look at DK. Now Kareem Hunt, if all things are equal, I suppose you could be okay, I like Kareem Hunt, and I like I'm trying to think of a running back that's right there with Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt and I don't know, Stevenson, let's say. Do you sit there and say to yourself, okay, I actually like these guys really evenly. I'm not saying I do. I like Stevenson more. But I'm just saying if you sit there and you're debating between the two and you say, there's a chance not only are they even, but maybe Hunt gets traded. Like, you can think about that. Maybe it helps push you over the edge, but if you're really going to draft Hunt over Stevenson because of a potential trade, you're just thinking, like, I think my example still stands. I know you were saying, no, that's not what I mean. What I said stands. Like, you can't buy a stock that you know is not going to be worth $100. It's going to go down, and buy it at 100 because you think you can at some point get lucky and sell it at 120 before it goes down to 50 or 60 or $80. Like, so Hunt, to me, you can't assume you're getting something out of Hunt. You take the best player available. If there's an added bonus in it, if all things are absolutely even, like you're looking at Kareem Hunt versus whatever player that's equivalent to him, and you say, what if Kareem Hunt gets traded? I got a real, extra added bonus here. Sure, but that's so rare. I wouldn't even factor that in, bro. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know, like, with Kareem Hunt, too, is also that, like, you talk about, I listen to you a lot, and, like, what you talk about is true, is that, like, Nick Chubb, he's a great player, and, like, he is, like, an injury factor, so you know that if something were to happen, like, to Nick Chubb, that he would get, like, that work, and he'd end up becoming, like, the running back one on the team, because we've seen it, like, last year, too, when Nick Chubb ended up going out, that when Kareem Hunt was actually in there, he was actually putting up, like, solid numbers. And
now there's a different angle. Drafting Hunt, assuming he could get some starts. But again, all these things are peripheral. You got to make sure you understand it. If things don't change, are you okay with the value? That's why I draft Stevenson instead. I like Kareem Hunt a lot. I want to own Kareem Hunt in a lot of situations, but you can't worry about future value. All right, what else you got, man? Hit me with something else.
All right, and well, it's just mainly like I like the topic that you're talking about with Michael Pittman, that he's definitely like getting like the rapport with Matt Ryan, because that's actually somebody that I'm definitely like interested in like taking. Because I did have him like last year, and I know that there was a lot of ups and downs like with that player, and I think that maybe it's with Matt Ryan over there that maybe there'll be a lot more like of those good weeks where he was actually like putting up decent points. Because like I think like Matt Ryan can actually throw the ball a lot better than like Wentz, and I don't think that they're gonna have him as like a game manager or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I like Pittman a lot. I do, and everybody says I don't dislike Pittman. I just don't like him in the third round because it's such a tough thing to ask of a player that is on his way up, and we clearly like what we're seeing. Pittman's going to be a potential like league winner if drafted at the right place, but if we take him at 3.1, and I see people doing it all the time, it puts you in a position to where he has to do what we're hoping he does in order to get his value back. And I like to see everybody hit a home run with the Pittman pick. And maybe you can't draft him in round 4 anymore. Like, that might be the problem, but I would at least say don't do it in multiple leagues, because you can't just draft, like, you can't draft Breece Hall at 2.1 just because you believe he's going to be a top 5 to 10 running back. You know what I mean? As much as I love Breece Hall, and I think he will be a top 5 to 10 running back, you got to play the game as best you can. You got to make sure you reach when you can. You reach when it makes sense. Taking Javonte at 2.1 instead of his ADP of 2.8 is fine. He can absolutely smash 2.1 value. Pittman at 3.1 could absolutely earn that value. Like, no question about it. Pittman could absolutely earn that value. But can he smash 3.1 value? I don't know. He certainly still could be better than that, but like, we've got to make sure we're careful with players that we love, and we don't drive their value up or start taking them at these crazy high valuations when they haven't proven it yet. And you could say like, hey Smitty, but you're doing that with a lot of guys, and touche. But my gut's telling me how high to go on some of these, and if your gut's telling you to take Pittman at 3.1, then trust your gut. Don't trust me. Trust your gut. I'm just saying, be careful. Be careful. All right, man. Appreciate you, Steven.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Because the stuff that you're talking about, I think what also too is that like with like the ADP stuff that you're talking about, I know that there's like a lot of websites, and like for instance, like I think you had a caller on, I think it was yesterday, and he was talking about like some of like the ADPs on like ESPN. For me, I that's something that I kind of like use as to like my advantage, because I know that in like a couple of my leagues that people have like use like the ESPN like rankings and stuff, and I think that some of these guys like they're definitely like going like a lot later than they're supposed to. So I feel like I could like maybe like just knowing that I could take a couple chances as like some other guys, knowing that those guys would be there. Like I definitely like want to use that as part of like a strategy and stuff.
Yeah, buddy. All right, call in anytime, Steven. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you.
Later. Let's talk about this guy right here. This is Ron Navy's wheelhouse right here. Ron Navy, give me a confirmation on. Give me a response on this. Just put it in the chat. I'll drag it on screen right over this right here. This guy right here, Jaylen Warren, is the backup running back in Pittsburgh, and that's a pretty important backup role because even if, like, usually when a starter goes down, you want to have the cuff, but there are some situations where it's like, it doesn't really matter. I think this one is. I think this is an important backup, and I think Jaylen Warren is now the number 2 in Pittsburgh, and he is a must-cuff, must-own for all Najee Harris owners. What's up? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Hey, this is Devin. I got a quick question for you.
Devin?
So, what are your thoughts on? I mean, I was looking through tight ends today, and I was thinking like Hooper on the Titans. There's no other really outlet for Tannehill. I mean, Woods, who knows what's going to go on with Bobby Trees? And Tannehill made a monster out of Jonnu Smith a couple of years ago. What are your thoughts on possibly being a top 10 tight end this year?
I don't know about top 10, but I will say that I do like Hooper when you're like in a best ball draft, for example, and you can join a best ball draft by going to the link in the description, promo code Smitty, and match up to $100 of your first deposit. Underdog's going to do that for you, so make sure you get on over there. If you're new to Underdog, they'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. Promo code Smitty, link in the description, Underdog Fantasy. He's an excellent player to grab. Let's see, where are we at? He's an excellent player to grab.
There's a lot of upside?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in a best ball draft, like, but I don't know if I would like draft him inside my top 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like him.
About drafting him. I was thinking about like later on.
Yeah.
And just not going tight end till the end, and then just picking up someone like Hooper or something, because I was thinking he's going to have a lot of upside this year.
Yeah. I think that's a good one, bro. I think for sure he's like outside top 10, could be top 10. But like, I don't know that I'm drafting him as my starter, to be honest. I think there's just too many options. Like, I can't see myself missing on Goddard and then missing on, Schultz before that, and then missing on Dawson Knox, and then missing on Freiermuth, because these are all guys I like better, and just keep screwing up the tight end drafting, I think you have plenty of time to be reactive, as these guys are starting to fall off the board. But I don't know. I like Cooper. I like a few guys that are in that range. Zach Ertz, but they're not guys that I'm targeting to be my starter. But I like it.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate you. Call back anytime. You said this is Devin, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Devin. Appreciate you.
No problem.
So again, Jaylen Warren is the cuff. Is the cuff to Najee Harris. Yes, but McFarland had a good game also. I wonder if they keep both. So anybody in Dynasty, make sure Jaylen Warren isn't available. He's the backup running back in Pittsburgh. And they feed Najee a lot. Thoughts on Tolbert? I like him a lot. But the Vasher kid might have something to say about who's the number 2 or 3 there. But definitely like Tolbert. I'm just saying, watch both of them. How do you call in? You call in by going to this right here.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Call into the show. Dial 602 NFL.
Dial in to the show. Appreciate you all dropping super chats, and we've got super thanks now open on the channel. which means that during an upload or a premiere or just a regular video upload or re-watching a live stream, any kind of re-watching of any kind, nothing live, there's a button now where you can super chat during a video that's not live. It's called Super Thanks. If I ever see one on any video, I will pin that comment to kind of highlight it in a way of saying thank you and answer whatever question you have. So anybody wants to drop a super thanks. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Hey, Smitty, it's Andy. How's it going?
What's up, my man?
Hey, I want to talk about Pittman. That seems like so early to me. It's not like Matt Ryan has been tearing up the league the past 2 years. And, JT's going to get the rock. That's just my opinion. I like Alec Pierce.
Yeah,
and even Paris Campbell's had good reports.
I like Pierce too, and here's this news. So here's the Pittman news. Here's the Alec Pierce news. I didn't get to everything yet, but Alec Pierce has been. It says right here, ESPN. Stephen Holder believes that wide receiver Alec Pierce's rate of growth is one reason the Colts have not signed a veteran receiver. So Alec Pierce has been balling as well. Pittman's been balling. Ryan's been doing pretty well. I think this Colts team is going to be pretty underrated and scary, flying in under the radar, division potential winner, and they've got a lot of upside. So Pittman, I like a lot. That's the frustrating part, is that I'm getting coined as a Pittman hater, and I'm not. I love Pittman, but the problem is I don't.
But 3-1, 3-2.
Well, that's my message. My message is like I'm trying to be very delicate with it because people are taking it wrong, and I want to make sure my message is clear. I like Pittman. I'm very, very excited for anybody that has Pittman on the roster as their fourth player. But third drafted player is a little bit, it's asking a lot when you haven't really, you want to see more before you invest, I think, that value. But I certainly love him in round 4. I love Pittman in round 4. I think he's going to be great in round 4.
I would say like later round 4, but he doesn't go there anymore at all.
Yeah, or early round 4. I'm okay with it. And this is coming from somebody that's getting a lot of heat for not loving Pittman as high as everybody. I like Pittman. I like him. I clip it. I like it. I like Pittman. Pittman's great. Pittman's fantastic.
Yeah, it's his ADP that's the problem.
Yeah, it's not, and I don't like hate his ADP. I just think it's a lot safer to take him as your fourth drafted player. It's all about safety. It's not anything else. Yeah, in the fourth, he could dominate from the fourth, but that's what it's all about: getting the player that can crush it from every single draft slot.
Right.
Let's see if we got I asked for Asher and Rock Out to send me a song. I don't know if Rock Out did it. I don't know if Asher was able to deliver. I by request, I said, give me a closing time. Javonte Williams won't linger in round 4, and I don't see either one. Hopefully someone give me something. If anybody dropped that music track at all, let me know to check my DMs.
Asher and Rock Out, they always deliver. So
yeah, Rock Out's he's a monster. All right, what else you got?
That's it. The wife just came home too.
So better go. Okay, Tom Brady. All right, Tom Brady. We'll see you later, Tom Brady. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, man.
Go, Tom. Bye, Tom.
Here.
Bye, Tom. Wife's home. Let's go real quick. Let's go do the rest of the news. Okay. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Hey, Smitty, it's Terry.
Terry! Hold on, Terry. We got to hit your intro, baby.
Yeah. But, hey, my redraft is coming up next Sunday, and I'm gonna be doing best player available, of course. But like you're always telling us about, it could leave a huge hole. And I'm planning a 14 teamer, so it's going to be really, really difficult. And I got the 10th spot. So, but I've been doing a bunch of mock drafts. In your opinion, because I got the 10th spot and it's toward the back, would it be better going like taking Javante second round, if he's still there. Like we were talking around around 12 o'clock, Javante could be climbing quick, so it's going to be harder and harder to game, especially in a 14-teamer. That being the case, but I'm determined to take best player available no matter what. So
what's the question ultimately? I'm sorry, Terry. I'm doing 1,000 things at once. What's the question? Give me one sentence what the question is, and then I'll attack it here.
Just basically, when you got a major hole there and you're trying to fill it, I mean, how do you focus on that? Do you?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I got you.
Do you go with whatever?
Let me give you a little hint right here. Ready?
The Moon Men dropping loads in outer space.
The Moon Men. Like that's step number one. Step number one is the Moon Men. But like Terry, to answer your question, it's blood, sweat, and tears, broski. When you draft best player available and it creates a hole in your lineup, a hole that's like running back 2, you're looking at Stevenson, Ramondre Stevenson. You're looking at Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, and Kenneth Walker, and that's your running back 2. Like you can't. People that freak out and have anxiety about that aren't looking at the bigger picture. That comes at an advantage. Like building your other positions up to an extreme degree comes at a cost. That cost could be the void that you're potentially creating. But Terry, you land Eli Mitchell, who is my number 1 waiver wire pickup of the year. And I've got my pre-week 1 waiver wire video coming where your boy Smitty gives you confidence levels of the best pickup of the year. Every single player that's the number 1 pickup of the year, we're going to do a confidence level rating. So if let's say we're in week 1 and let's say I'm trying to think of a player that could be available. Let's say I don't want to use injuries, but let's say Najee Harris wasn't injured, but like a UFO picked him up and abducted him, okay? And he's going to return safely and healthy in week 5 or 6, or we think maybe. I don't want to use injury. Then all of a sudden, this Warren kid that I just talked about right here, where's that news right here? This guy, Jaylen Warren, who becomes the instant starter in Pittsburgh, I'm going to have my week 1 waiver wire show and say, this guy, Jaylen Warren's now the starting running back in Pittsburgh, and the confidence level that he's the best pickup of the year is an 8 out of 10. That's how my waiver wire process works, because I can't tell you how much to spend on him. I don't know you're trending in your league. So waiver wire, Terry. Waiver wire, buy low, sell high. How many players are going to struggle weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and people want to give up on them? Like, oh my God, what do we do with so-and-so? Remember that? Like, what do we do with Jamar Chase? What do we do with Jamar Chase? You start him and you say thank you. You wait for him to come back and bounce back, and he did, and he won people leagues. So, like, you fill it with waiver wire, Terry. You fill it with buy low, sell high. This is what the show is going to be about. The buy low, sell high video each week is going to guide you in that direction. The waiver wire video is going to guide you with the waiver wire stuff. We've got your back, Terry, and we'll help you fill any hole you create with going best player available. And sometimes it doesn't create a hole. Sometimes you have a completely balanced team. But if best player available does create a void in your roster, there's a series of videos every single week you can count on where we're going to help you fill that void or try and fill it.
Yeah, because best player available, I mean, it's huge. I mean, it's a must. I mean, I've done it for all my teams now. It's insane. I'm like, wow.
Yes, sir.
You know?
All right, my man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Terry.
Couldn't thank you. Hey, by the way, guys, I started posting all the shows on Discord, so come on over and chat with me. We're going to start letting the Discord up and getting it moving.
Yeah,
we're 3 weeks away from the season. Let's do it.
And if anybody wants that Discord link, it is right here. Let me drop it in the chat. This is the Discord link. Get in there. I dropped it. Join the Discord. All right, Terry. Appreciate you.
Do it.
Later.
All right.
See you. What's up? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Hey, this is Matt Hefke.
Matt who?
Mark Hefke. You call me Hefke, though.
Hefke?
Yep, or Hef.
Okay, what's up, Hef? What can I do for you?
I just want to talk baseball. I've been in.
Uh-oh. I think we lost him. Hold on, Hef. Hey, Hef, we lost you, pal. I'm going to have to restart my phone line. Hef, keep calling again.
Call into the show. Dial 602 NFL. Dong.
I have an ongoing call with them that I can't join. Hefke, you're going to have to call in again, bro. I'm sorry, pal. Poor guy. He's still probably talking right now. The call froze, but I could see that it's still connected. It just ended. He hung up. Hey, Hefke. Hefke, call in again. Something happened. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Hey, this is Hef again.
I'm sorry, Hef. I don't know what happened there, but go ahead. Start over.
Okay, well, as far as best ball goes, I've been in like 150 drafts already between DraftKings and Underdog. I find myself picking a lot of the same players, like, Swift Javante, Najee Javante. As far as the running backs go, do you think I should try to diversify and take like a Mixon or a Henry or something like that? Or should I just keep taking what I think is best player available?
Definitely do. If you're doing 150, Hefke, you're doing over like even like 20 best balls. You should have diversified teams for sure. But at the same time, let's say you diversify like 20 or 30% of them. At the same time, when you do a March Madness bracket and you're like, man, this thing's going to win. Like I got the March Madness bracket filled out perfectly. This is a 100% bracket right here. When you feel like you're onto something, right? It's great to do little variations of it. So you do the same bracket, but you have maybe this team going to the Final Four instead of that team because you like both of them. You're at a fork in the road, and you're like, okay, I'm going to keep everything the same. This is like an experiment in psychology. When I study psychology, when you do psychology experiments, you want all the variables to be the same, but one, and you're measuring that variable, right? So you have different things that are the same. They're across the board. You're trying to measure one thing. You have to keep everything else consistent. I look at it like that when I'm doing a March Madness bracket. I'll do a bracket I think is a clear winner, and I'm putting my season on the line by thinking a certain way, but I feel like it's money. But there was a fork in the road, so I changed that up, and then that bracket, and then I do another version of it with a slightly different. So I cover all my angles on the places where I was kind of 50-50 on. But I keep the majority of it the same.
You always got an underdog winner.
I look at best ball the same way. If you've got a mentality that this guy are going to break out, and you're right, but maybe you're wrong on one of them or two of them, and you do enough variations to cover all the different little angles, I feel like that's the best way to win in best ball. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you have control variables and you're measuring other, one variable specifically. So you want to have a lot of controls in place, and then you have one variable, and then mix it up. But at the same time, that's a majority of what you're doing, right? You want to have a couple that have Henry, a couple that have CMC, sure, but that's the best way to win best ball, is to cover all your bases along the same line of thinking that you believe will be the winning formula. And so, and a lot of times what that leads to is, let's say I'm taking Javante and Swift over and over, let's say. And I'm putting a lot on the line that they're going to work out. But if I'm taking Javante and Swift and I keep doing that draft over and over, my third and fourth and fifth round picks will be different each time. But my Javante and Swift, back-to-back 12 picks, whenever I get that 12 pick, will be the same. So my variables down low are changing, and I'm mixing them up, and eventually I get a player I shouldn't get. I'm getting DK around 6 somehow. And I'm like, what? And like Burrow falls to 7, and that particular team is the one that has the most potential to win because I stuck to the formula, and I got lucky, and things fell perfectly for once out of 10 times that I try it. So that's what I love about best ball in that format and that thinking. And you can do all that, Hefke, by going to Underdog Fantasy, link in the description, promo code Smitty, match up to $100 on your first deposit. So if you want to do best ball, I urge everybody to go over there. And Hefke, the thing is, as you know, with all the best ball you're doing, if your fantasy season, your regular fantasy season ends up getting littered with injuries and, screws you up, you still got all that best ball goodness to watch every single Sunday. So that's why it's great, right?
Right, yeah, that's what makes it fun. So that's why I enjoy that a lot on there. The draft part is the whole best thing of the fantasy football, I think.
Yeah. What else you got, pal?
That's all, man. I appreciate your opinion on it, though.
Yeah, appreciate you.
All right, take care, man.
Later, broski.
Bye.
Hey, Mike, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show, Mike.
What's up, Smitty?
What's
Quick
up, Mikey?
question, man. What's up? I was doing a slow draft while I was at work, and I kind of saw something I thought was a little strange. You think it's time to bite on CEH at his ADP? Because he just went in the 8th round of the draft I was doing. And, I was in on him last year, and apparently he had the gallbladder issue. I don't know what your stance is on him this year, if you've already put that up publicly. But I think he's worth taking a chance on in that high-powered offense.
The truth is, bro, people are so close-minded when it comes to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, when it comes to, people say that I'm all about, guys that aren't ever injured. And, here's Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming off the gallbladder. I always forget what it is. I should just look it up instead of just continuing to be like, what was it again? Gallbladder, I think it was. They took it out.
Yeah.
They took it out. And it was under the radar. No one really knew. This guy didn't complain and come out and say, I'm 55 lbs underweight. He literally came out and played at 55. He played at 160 pounds. So about 50 lbs. 160 pounds. He normally plays around 209, 210. And this guy comes out and plays football at 160 pounds. No wonder he got tossed around and kept struggling, couldn't stay healthy. So for me it's like, do I love Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 7th or 8th round value? You bet I do. And you can cuff him to Pacheco. Why does anybody think that Clyde and Pacheco cuffed together isn't going to give you good, fantasy football goodness? This is an 8th and 9th or 8th and 10th round duo. If anything, this is one of the better cuffs in fantasy football. Or the better emergency running back twos in fantasy football. This is one of the better emergency flex options in fantasy football. Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Pacheco together is going to cost you nothing more than 8th and 10th round value, 8th and 12th round value. I don't even know where Pacheco's going. Pacheco might not go to round 12, round 11, round 10.
His ADP on Underdog in a slow draft, I think, is 153 right now.
Why would anybody not, because he burned you? You're going to really take a grudge into Clyde Edwards-Helaire's no risk value? Clyde,
Yeah.
look, Clyde, let me make something abundantly clear. Clyde is disappointed. I've been disappointed in Clyde. Clyde, you disappoint me. Okay? Very disappointed in Clyde. But some of it has been a really bad hand that has been dealt to him. And if he doesn't work out again, guess what? Pacheco's coming in and Pacheco's going to do well. So Rojo's not, he's not going to even probably make the team if he wasn't cut already, and I didn't see it. Is Pacheco? What?
Well, listen, man. I was in on CEH last year, and there were a lot of sharp people I respect in the fantasy industry that were really really in on CEH. They did the improved offensive line.
Yep.
And his situation, in my opinion, has only gotten better with Tyreek Hill leaving. I mean, no one knows how, somebody on that offense, in my opinion, this year, not named Travis Kelce, is going to be I hate using this word, but they're going to be legit a league winner.
Yeah, I mean,
you're going to need to have.
Look, without Tyreek Hill, if Clyde Edwards-Helaire stays healthy, if Clyde Edwards-Helaire lives up to his, even remotely close to his pass-catching potential, learning how to pass block, he's the veteran there. Pacheco's not going to have that stuff down yet. Pacheco's not taking Clyde Edwards-Helaire's job out of the gate. it's going to be something where Clyde gets hurt. Pacheco is forced to go in, and then they're like rotating to try and make sure they keep Mahomes upright if Pacheco can't pass block good enough or learn it or pick it up. But let me tell you something. This offense is complicated. The only one that knows this offense from the running back room to the degree that you feel ultra comfortable that they can come out and run any play, because it is one of the most complicated offenses and playbooks in the NFL, and people don't realize that. Clyde has a huge leg up on everybody. And if Clyde can stay healthy, he played at 160 pounds versus 210 last year. If he can stay healthy, he will ball out. And I don't know that he will stay healthy, but guess what? You get to cuff him to Pacheco at ridiculous value, and if you wanted to totally punt running back 2 or totally punt your flex, it's one of the best and cheapest ways to at least go about it.
Yeah, I just noticed that, and I just said, hey, man, I don't have enough CEH. I need more of them.
Ron's got a draft in 18 minutes. Ron, go get it. Post your results or send them to me, and we'll talk about it next show.
Thank you, Smitty. Thank you, bud.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate you, Mike. Rojo is on the bulb. Yeah, Rojo's not going to... it might have been released as I'm talking. Don't worry about Rojo. Guys, starting Monday through Friday next week, so for 1 week, it is going to be... I'm just watching this game here. Monday is Top Gun week. Top Gun week. This is an honor system, but everybody's got to wear a stash. I'm going to shave this right here. I'm coming in with just the stash. Monday is Top Gun week. Let's go. The movie comes out. The movie comes out. Top Gun on digital release on iTunes. I've got my pre-order in. Top Gun has been ordered by your boy Smitty. It is Top Gun week. Top Gun to the moon. This is supposed to be one of the best movies of all time, and I believe every bit of it. And I'm going to wear my Top Gun stash to the show, wearing my uniform to the show all week next week. So bring your A game. It looks like we got another super chat that I missed. Let me get to it. Oh, I'm sorry. Patrick, I don't think you said anything, Patrick, but Patrick said he put a gesture, a sticker up, and I appreciate you, Patrick. Patrick, thank you for that super chat. Patrick, are you still here?
Thanks for the super chat. Giddy up.
Patrick, if you have any other question you want to tie to that, drop it and let me assist you with that. And this one's from James Conklin. Smitty, check your IG DM. That's the team I'm getting in the 14-team league. I think you'll like it. James Conklin, appreciate you.
Thanks for the super chat. Giddy up.
So Conklin came up with this team right here. Let's go ahead and look at it. It's a mock, though. I really wonder if you're going to be able to get this in a real league. But you got Swift, Javonte, Breece Hall. Love it. St. Brown, Burrow, Elijah Moore, Walker. Walker's a little early there, bro. You can't be taking Walker. What round was that? 7? Right now he's falling later than that. I probably would let him fall. I know his ADP still showing high enough to where you're worried about him getting taken, but I bet you people pass on him even if he floats near the top because, I mean, auto picks could take him in like a mock, but I don't know. Dan choked on his water. I don't know when that was. Maybe that was when what's-his-face had to go. And I was like, later, Tom, later. My wife's here. Okay, let's hit the voicemails.
It's voicemail time. Drop a voicemail at the Fantasy Football Show on the gram. Tell your grandma.
We got the game going on in the corner here. It's voicemail time. It's voicemail time. Okay. Terry Roberts has a couple. Terry, I'm answering these voicemails at 1 hour and 38 minutes into the show. Appreciate you doing this, Terry. These are from the Discord.
And then Cable asked, 12-team redraft, non-PVR, 4th round. Both Etienne and Hall are there. Which one? I have Harris as running back 1.
Najee Harris is your running back 1. ETN, I put etc. ETN, autocorrect. ETN or Hall? Who am I taking? ADP is very important. Not because I want you to draft off ADP. Because I want you to manipulate and massage ADP and make it yours. Okay? And ADP is telling you that Hall's falling. This Zach Wilson injury is really putting Hall's value to the test, and his ADP is falling. So give me ETN, whose value is increasing. Hall's ADP is decreasing. You have a higher likelihood of taking ETN in round 3 and Hall in round 4. So my answer is go ETN if you think you can maneuver that. If push comes to shove, it's pretty even. I probably lean Hall in general, but with strategy involved, I think ETN can be had in round 3 and Hall can be had in round 4. So it's kind of like it depends on what you're trying to do. Like ultimately, yeah, Hall is my answer. Push comes to shove, I can only own one. It's one league. I'm going to go Hall. If I've got leagues side by side, same scenario, I can only draft one in each league though. I might go Hall in one and ETN in the other. Like they're really that close. But if I lean one way, it would be Hall if I couldn't choose to do both.
Iceman asked, do we think David Montgomery will excel with the new coaching staff?
Who's David Montgomery? Who's that? Is that the handcuff to Khalil Herbert? David Montgomery. D-Mont. I don't think D-Mont is a good player to invest in. And do I like him like in the 5th or 6th round and then I cuff him to Khalil Herbert? That I don't mind. But that's not something I'm targeting. That's something I fall into. So I'm not targeting D-Mont. I don't want D-Monty on my team unless I trip and fall, screw up my running back 2 or 3, find myself in a position where I don't like anybody else around. I've already got an early quarterback, so I can't take a quarterback at that 5th or 6th round value. And so I'm like, crap, what am I going to do here? You know, you draft Monty, you cuff him to Khalil Herbert, and you maybe have yourself a pretty underrated situation. Sure, you could trip and fall into that, but am I targeting it? No. Do I think Monty has a real shot at heading to your planet Uranus?
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
Real strong shot. He's in Uranus in 2022. So, the half full Monty, as Silver said. Yep, Monty to planet Uranus. Smitty just got home and left you a closing time song on Messenger. Atta boy, I knew you'd pull through, Asher. Let's get to Asher's song. Here we go.
I know who I wanna draft in my home league. I know who I wanna draft in my home league. Jay Williams. Yeah.
Oh my.
Closing time.
Unbelievable. I'm afraid you're going to get signed and raptured from the show, bro. You are just amazing. Look, listen to this acapella, this on-call, impromptu, I want a closing time song of Javonte Williams. Within an hour and a half, I get a delivery in my Instagram inbox from our boy Asher.
I know who I wanna draft in my home league. I know who I wanna draft in my home league. Jay Williams. Yeah. Closing time.
Unbelievable. Rock Out, the question is, what does Rock Out do with that information? Does Rock Out come out with his version of closing time Javonte Williams style? That's the real question. Terry, I appreciate your messages. I think I covered everything, right?
Iceman asked, do we think David Montgomery will excel?
Okay, awesome. I got all those covered. Let's hit the voicemail group number 2. Again, we're at voicemail segment.
It's voicemail time. Drop a voicemail at the Fantasy Football Show on the gram. Tell your grandma.
What's a good price range Swoopy wants to know, or swoop tie, whatever it is. The Swoopinator. What's a good price for Javonte? 55 to 60 and a 200. I mean, expect to pay it. I don't think you're getting him in the 40s, bro. No one's going to sleep on him there. But the later you have him called out, the better. The more likely people won't overspend. Crackshot says Hackett will create Mega Javonte. Release the Kraken. Release the Javonte Kraken.
Hey, what up, sweetie? It's me again. The voicemail king. Dropping another voice message in voice message season, because we're in August.
I don't know if anybody knows what's going on right here, but Kevin Williams, we coined as the voicemail king. This guy put me to sleep during the last live stream when he left me like 4 59-second messages where he just talked on and on and on, and we fell asleep during the show. And this he was coined the voicemail king. It's already gone to his head. After one mention of this guy being the voicemail king, listen to the tone in his voice. He's literally anointing himself the star of the show.
Hey, what up, sweetie? It's me again. The voicemail king, dropping another voice message in
just me
voice message season.
Yeah,
because we're in August. Like our boy,
I'm the king.
Tom Brady, crushing it. Voicemail season. He's not on the field, but yeah, Brady the like button. That's what I'm doing all the time. But yeah. Any news this week or headway or anybody
asking me a question
you're gonna add to the Moon Men or people that might be creeping on that Moon Man list?
Oh my God, 39 seconds instead of 1 minute. Thank you, Kevin, for toning it down a little bit and not putting us to sleep on that one. The voicemail king, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin, the voicemail king. Re-anointing his own nickname. Love it. Any Moon Men list? Sure. I mean, honestly, we're looking at Ramondre Stevenson potential season. We're looking at, B-Rob could be a moon man, or at least we send him to the moon. There are a lot of players that are developing right now. Let's go to Kenny.
Hey, Smitty, can you break down your personal strategy for a rebuild? Like, are you acquiring a couple really high-end players and trying to fill in the blanks next year? Or are you grabbing a whole bunch of lottery tickets with high upside and hope that some of these guys hit?
Everything's case by case. It's really hard to give somebody a blueprint as to how to build their fantasy team. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just say, oh, grab a bunch of, it's all who's on the board, what team are you building now? Should you be grabbing a bunch of Tony Pollards and Ramondres, or should you grab a guy that can maybe help you more now? It all depends, bro. But in general, it's I'm always scooping up guys like Ramondre Stevenson. I'm always scooping up players like Kenny Walker and St. Brown and guys I think could be the future of the league, at some capacity. I'm always grabbing guys like Rashad White and scooping up 3 or 4 of those guys on my team, so that if one of them hits and becomes that Alvin Kamara gem, then you have your whole future handed to you in Dynasty. You're going to have a huge advantage. But, I mean, there's no formula for it. You know what I mean? You just got to play it by ear. Every time you're on the clock, everything's best player available.
With the age cliff now of running backs being 27 or so years old versus 29 or 30 like it used to be, and with the addition of the 17th game, do you see, as the years go further into the future, do you see the handcuff or the backup running back becoming more valuable and more important in fantasy football? I don't know. I just feel like guys like Kareem Hunt, A.J. Dillon, Kenny Walker, Ramondre Stevenson, Tony Pollard, these are all backup running backs with huge value this year. So I'm just curious what your thought of the handcuff running back was going to be, going forward.
Yeah, most certainly. And the added game is overlooked. A lot of people, wonder why the age of the running back is going to probably not change. It used to be 29-30. Now it's 26-27. And you got to ask yourself, why is that changing? And because the game's faster, stronger. And if it's faster and stronger now, that means it's faster and stronger at the college level. And we have evidence of that when players come out and dominate. Like wide receivers back in like the Larry Fitzgerald days. When you were a rookie wide receiver, you weren't useful in fantasy the first year. You got 704 touchdowns. I don't know if anybody knows that unless you played fantasy football back then. But rookie wide receivers did nothing. And that's changed. The college game is different. It's harder, faster, stronger. That means that high school's harder, faster, stronger. Pop Warner's harder, faster, stronger. And that might seem silly to somebody, but imagine the accumulation of knee impact and abuse to the lower body for running backs. They are taking gruesome hits all through Pop Warner, all through college, all through high school and college. And then they get into the pros a little more worn down, and then you ask them to play an extra game on top of that. When you think about it, an extra game, over the course of a 5 or 6 year season or career, 6-season career, that's 6 extra games. You're almost playing literally like 1/3 an extra season. If you have a 5-year career as a running back, you are now asked to be playing like a whole nother third of a season than you normally would be. So your wear and tear is going to be even crazier. So downstream, 2, 3, 4 years from now, running backs are going to probably fall off even a little bit earlier because they're now playing 6 extra games in a 5-year career or 6-year career, So I definitely think cuffs are important, but it's all case by case. Not every cuff's important. Not every cuff's important at all.
So with the ban on Deshaun Watson for 11 games in a super flex league, what round would you take a chance on him? Obviously, 11 games is like the entire fantasy season, but maybe for your championship and playoff run, what round do you feel comfortable like drafting Deshaun Watson? Just let me know, Schmitty. Thank you, man.
Space Ricky. Terry on Thumb Patrol. Terry does drop about 6 thumbs in a row on occasion. And Terry's not spamming. I know R. Smith said stop spamming Terry. Terry's not spamming. Terry is allowed to do that. He's doing it in a positive fashion. But Terry's on Thumb Patrol.
Terry, he's scary. Terry's on patrol. Terry's on patrol.
Thumb Patrol. Oh, man, the comments are always undefeated. Where was I at?
So with the ban on Deshaun Watson for 11
games. Superflex, Danny. I don't know, bro. I think like the Thumb Patrol. That comment went.
You've just been Smitty approved.
The comments are undefeated. I think like I'm avoiding it. Get it, Terry. Get it, Terry, says Silver.
Silver Rapture. I'm in there, big dog. You know I'm in there. Just 2 big dogs standing side by side. That's a Rottweiler and a Pit Bull. You know we're about to get it.
By the way, where is the Bruce? Has anybody heard from the Bruce? I feel bad. I haven't even noticed he's been missing for like 3 days. Where's the Bruce? Anybody know where the Bruce is? Can we get the Bruce on the phone? The Bruce ain't loose. We need him in here. Eddie with a $4.99 holler.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you, Eddie. Where were we at? Eddie says, hey, Smitty. Got first pick in next week's draft. 10-man league draft plan. In general, Eddie, and this is loosely based because you want to take best player available. You're getting JT, obviously, if you get that first pick. Maybe Javonte falls. Maybe your league doesn't know what time it is. Maybe they haven't even seen the report that Melvin Gordon said when they asked him, hey, Melvin, you got anything you want to say? What's been going on lately?
Oh, yeah, Javonte's the guy.
Hey, Melvin, what'd you have for lunch today?
Javonte's the guy. I just want you to know Javonte's the guy. They really want him to be the guy.
That's what we've been hearing. Maybe your league doesn't know. So if Javonte falls, you grab him and you run. And the other thing, Eddie, is I got a video released. One of my favorite draft strategies for 2022. It's the one trade move up. I'm going to talk about it more. Trading up to get Javonte. And I will explain that in the video. But if you can trade up, do it. That video is coming. Next week's draft, it should be out in plenty of time for that. But where is the Bruce? I'm worried about the Bruce. The Bruce took off like Tom Brady. That's right. That's right. The Bruce is hanging out with Tom. The Bruce is pulling a Thomas Brady right now. I don't know. Similar to Giselle saying you can't go play. We don't know if Miss Robeson saying, the Bruce, you are not loose today. You have chores, young man.
The Bruce
is not loose. Where's the Bruce when you need him? Where's the Bruce when you need him most? Danny?
It's Daniel, by the way. Sorry.
Oh,
I
by
forgot
the
to
way.
introduce myself.
Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate you. And I think we got one more from.
It's Daniel, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, that's the same one. I think we're all caught up. I think we're all caught up on the voicemails. Thank you, Eddie. Where are we at? Where are we at? There we go. You know what time it is. It's speed Q&A. That means ask me fast, short questions. If it's like a paragraph, I'm skipping you. Okay, it's got to be one sentence, maybe 2 lines max. And get your questions ready. Start tossing them out.
It is time for the speed question and answer segment.
Let us begin speed round Q&A. Let's go. RP says, choose one keeper. Jefferson in the 4th. Tyreek Hill. I was going to say Taysom Hill in the 10th. Lamb in the 11th. Wow. That's a tough one. I mean, it's so hard not to tell you to keep Jefferson, but Lamb in the 11th is crazy. I probably lean Lamb, but I don't know, man. 4th is an unbelievable value. Guys, let's help him out. Somebody drop an answer to that. Do you think you should go with Lamb in the 11th or JJ in the 4th? That's really, really tough. Super chat from Michael. Super chat from Michael. Attabrowski Michael. Michael says, it's Javonte season. Smitty, grab a gallon of gas with this or a nitro cold brew. However you choose, fantastic work. You know what I'm gonna do with Michael's 20 spot? I'm into these things. 0 calories. Okay, I don't need to hear it. Smitty, it's bad for your heart. Look, me yelling and screaming is bad for my heart. But these right here, I'm in this particular brand was pretty good. This peach mango bang. I'm into these bang drinks, 0 calories during my live streams. I don't need to drink, sodas while I'm live. I'll drink a bang. I'll drink a bang or two, and I'm gonna use that to get my bang supply going. You know what I'm saying, broski? And we need to get Bang to become a sponsor of the show, by the way. We got a JJ vote. Barkley or Jones. Give me Aaron Jones. Too long of a question, Hank. I can't get to that. I'm lost. I can't bring myself to pass on Lamb in the 11th. It's a really, really tough call. JJ in the 4th is never a bad approach, but Lamb in the 11th is pretty crazy. Bang that like button. Pittman or Keenan Allen. Honestly, I think it's really dead even, and I don't like Keenan Allen in round 3 any more than I like Pittman in round 3, but I love both of them in round 4. I kind of lean Keenan Allen, but I love both of them about the same, bro. I love them. Danny Gray with my last pick. Yeah, why not? If it's a deep league, Danny Gray in your last pick is probably pretty good. Space Ricky says Lamb. Is Pittman a 2022 Cup? I wouldn't go that far, bro, but I would say Pittman is definitely capable of being a top 10 wide receiver. Just make sure you draft him at a good place. Akers or Brady? Give me Akers because I can trade him. But I don't want Akers. I don't want to own Akers. but Brady's a very, very deep, deep value in fantasy football, so Akers is higher ADP, so I probably draft Akers and trade him. Best wide receiver in the third round. McLaurin, that's a tough one because there's a lot of overvalued players in the third round right now. That's why I tend to lean going a little bit of a reach on ETN or Breece Hall. I don't find myself going wide receiver in round 3 very often. I like Waddle. I like McLaurin. I like Pittman in the 4th. I like those guys in the 4th, but I like them all in the 4th. DK in 5 or 6. Aaron Jones and Keenan Allen or CD and Zeke. Probably Keenan Allen and Aaron Jones, but that's really close. I just don't trust Zeke, man. I don't trust Zeke Elliott. And I don't know that I want both of them when I could diversify a little bit with the Aaron Jones Keenan, but that's a weird combo. It's kind of like you're losing here and gaining there, losing there. Sutton or Judy, give me Judy. But I could go either way. Lamb in the 11th round, says Legion. Where do I have Ayuk valued? You got to have him probably in the 7-round territory, bro. And he's a home run from round 7, but you can't take him too early because he's definitely got to have that packaged in risk of what do you get out of him. Trey Area, top 12 QB? No, Matt. He's top 5 to 6, bro. He's top... Matt, where have you been? Okay, you got a Niner logo. I know you hang out here all the time. What are you talking about top 12 QB? He's top 5 to 6. Put some respect on Trey Lance's name. And I got to reset the timer. Take a lap. There we go. Moore or Watt? I appreciate you, Matt. I'm just kind of joking with you. Kind of, partly. DJ Moore or Waddle? Give me Waddle. I like Moore, but I don't like his situation all that much, to be honest with you. A.J. Brown, absolutely love A.J. Brown. Get on your horse, A.J. Brown. He's going to be a monster in 2022. Rank these Week 9 QBs. I can't validate these are Week 9, so I'm trusting you here. Dak, Russ Wilson, Trey Lance. Give me Trey Lance, then give me Dak, then Russell Wilson. But Dak and Russell Wilson are really, really close. Lance is a little bit above those guys. I love Trey Lance, top 5 to 7 this year. Let's go. Get on your horse. R. Smith dropping a super chat. Pickens, wide receiver 3, 16-team keeper league. Pickens, wide receiver 3, 16-teamer. Yeah, I'm going to say go ahead. You're going a little light at wide receiver 3, but that affords you to make moves and make a splash at other positions. So I'm okay in a 16-team league, bro. That's big. 16-team. And thank you for the super chat, R. Smith. You're the man, the myth, the legend. Always with the commentary, the peanut gallery. R. Smith is a peanut gallery machine. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, or DK. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I love DK. But I feel like Amon-Ra, St. Brown will outscore him. I draft DK ahead of him, but I want to own both. If that's not a cop-out answer, you got to take DK, but I want both. And I think St. Brown quietly outperforms him. You know what I'm saying? Matt says, my bad, Smitty. Matt, take a lap for saying my bad and apologizing to me on this. Take another lap. You don't apologize for being a machine, all right? You're a machine, Matt. Act like it. You are a man, a machine, an absolute monster. Okay? You are good to go. There's no apologies needed. ETN and J-Rob or Bateman first. Or Bateman first, Hines. What are we talking about here? ETN and J-Rob or Bateman, a first rounder in 2023 probably, I'd imagine. Okay, ETN and J-Rob or Bateman, a first, and Hines. Depends on where the first is. If that first rounder is in 2023 and it's the 1.1, give me that. If it's not inside the top 2 of 2023, it's like some future unknown 2024, or it's a middle round to late round 2023, give me ETN all day long. But if it's the 1.1, Robinson's going to be a top 8 overall player next year. I'm letting you know right now. Robinson is going to be in my top 8 to 10 overall as a rookie. And everyone's going to say, oh, Smitty loves the rookie running back. Yes, I do. And Robinson's going to be the man. So make sure you, but Kenny, where is it? How late is that first rounder? So you're saying it's a first. If it's not top 2 or 3 guaranteed, give me the ETN side by a mile. Appreciate you, Kenny. Pickens or Olave? Probably Olave, but I really like Pickens, man. Real good shot at being a monster. Marlon with the super chat. Marlon, appreciate you.
Mashed potatoes! Yeah, buddy.
Marlon. Marlon dropping this wad right here. Rank running back stable. Kamara, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, Kenneth Walker, and James Robinson. I mean, I think you probably have it ranked pretty appropriately, assuming Kamara doesn't miss any time. Aaron Jones is probably a little more valuable to me because I'm not taking Kamara anywhere at the top of round 2. Could I take him at the 2-3 turn? Sure. But I don't think Kamara's out of the woods yet, so I'm not ranking him above Aaron Jones. But if let's say, oh, I think I got someone at the front door. Oh, yeah. I got to roll right now. I'll be back tonight to mock draft. Appreciate you, everybody. Peace out. The show, we have gone over 2 hours already, so we're out of here. Appreciate you all. See you tonight. Mock drafting, best ball. Get over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Get your one-on-one text device. Let's go. See you all later.